First of all, I'd just like to apologize really quickly to Jason Schreier. Thank you for tweeting me and correcting me. In a tweet, I stated that he claimed that ROCKSTEADY'S making a Justice League game, and as I'll, kind of divulge in this video, he did not say that. He said that they're making a group superhero video game, but he did say they're not making a Superman game in particular. But anyway, I explained that more in this video. I just got it wrong in the tweet, and I just wanted to clarify. Okay, let's get right into the video. So, it is another year, and it is another year that we all, as DC fans, get excited and hopeful that WB Montreal or ROCKSTEADY will launch the reveal trailer for their next DC title video game. And of course, I said in 2016, like, oh my gosh, it's finally time. Surely this is the year, and nothing happened. And then 2017, Game Awards pass, E3 passes, and by 2017, Game Awards is like, oh my gosh, I mean, by now, like, holy crap, WB Montreal's last game was 5 years ago. Surely this will be the year. And then, of course, that passes in 2018, E3 passes, and here we are at 2018 Game Awards. And I say, well, surely, I mean, this has to be the year. So I've learned to not so much predict, and there was some leak regarding that they're going to be at the Game Awards, ROCKSTEADY will be. I'm not going to comment on that, just because, leaks that I personally haven't corroborated regarding, are they going to be at E3? Are they going to be at Game Awards? And the Game Awards come out in 2 weeks, so we'll find out then, and if that leak is accurate. But here is what I want to talk about today, and that's actually a report from Jason Schreier, a well-known industry insider, probably the most reliable games journalist in all of games journalism, in my personal opinion. And I say this because, as you all know, roughly 2 years ago or so, I was getting some information. I saw some images and hearing some things through bite-sized impressions in one of his good buddies in the industry, and regarding WB Montreal's game. And they were making a Batman game, and I personally think, or at least hope, that they still are, but at the time, I know that they definitely were. And right kind of after I had seen those pictures and seen some of those images, Jason Schreier comes out, and he went on to, I believe, the Kind of Funny podcast, and he said exactly the same things that I saw in the images and had been hearing, like 100% corroboration. And I know that they are not the same sources, just because I know that. So anyway, my point being is that he's reliable, and there's never been an instance before in my YouTube career that I've ever had that type of insight into something that hadn't been revealed. And then Jason Schreier comes out, who's a well-known industry insider, and he's like, boom, 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 just like that, and he's 100% right from exactly what I had seen. So my point in saying this is he's reliable, especially in this realm. Some insiders are better in some realms. They know, whatever, different areas better, different companies. But it seems as though within the WB Games, realm, he's actually quite connected. So he has come out and said that ROCKSTEADY, let's put aside WB Games Montreal, who I think is due the most to actually be revealed sooner. But anyway, it's looking as though maybe ROCKSTEADY is going to be coming up in the Game Awards. We know there's going to be over 10 reveals confirmed by Jeff Knightley, who leads the Game Awards. So there's going to be a lot of reveals, a lot of DLC reveals, a lot of video game reveals, over 10 of them, he said. So that's very, very exciting. That's very promising. Finally, they're realizing what we actually want out of the Game Awards. The Game Awards are really cool, but putting aside, a few select categories, Game of the Year and other, cool ones, once you get down to the nitty-gritty of best VFX design, it's this is self-aggrandizing, video game industry stuff. No one really cares about this. But anyway, so ROCKSTEADY. Jason Schreier has said the following. He claims that ROCKSTEADY is not doing a Superman game. They are not. They are doing a group superhero video game, and I find it odd that he did not explicitly state it's a Justice League game. That's concerning, okay? Because if he has a legitimate source from the inside, I'm not questioning his legitimacy, I'm more questioning if it is a Justice League game. He says it's a group superhero game. It could just be something like DC Universe Online, where we have Justice League heroes, we have non-Justice League heroes, all kinds of different people, right, that we can play as. Maybe we can create our own DC hero, like in DC Universe Online, something to that effect. He says that it's that, and it's a games as a service. In other words, it will most likely be an MMO, multiplayer only. Not necessarily multiplayer only, there might be a story, but it will be probably a pay-to-play type of game. That's what a games as a service is. It's probably free to play, and you buy content. In other words, the game itself is free to download. You might get some very basic introductory content, and you really pay for pay-to-play. You pay for that additional content. So, how do I feel about this? Well, here's the thing that strikes me as a bit odd, is Rocksteady's known for their structured linear stories. Batman Arkham Knight was really their first open world venture. I mean, Arkham City, really, in terms of an open world game, it's like nothing. You know, compare that to Grand Theft Auto. Compare that to even Spider-Man PS4. I mean, the Arkham City map is like minuscule in comparison, right? So my point in saying this is that Rocksteady hasn't really been an open world game developer. And going into the MMA world, it's just like MMO world, rather. It's just a totally different world. It's unlike anything they've done. Now, this is not to say they won't have a story. DC Universe Online had a story, albeit a very suppressed one, very unimpressive one, rather. So, here's what I think is interesting about this, is that it's not really what we would expect from Rocksteady. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing. My point in making this video is that if you're going to put bets against Jason Schreier, I would think twice. Now, I would think twice, personally, like me personally, because of what I've known, because he's, been right on other DC things in the past, and because he's very, very reliable. And he's just an expert in the industry. He's at the top of the game, of the league game. He runs it. I mean, he's been blacklisted from other companies and stuff like that. And I'm not saying he's impervious to being wrong, but I'm saying that if you're going to bet against him, you're betting against the odds. If I'm in Vegas, I'm betting on Jason Schreier, period, okay? So that's just what you have to think, realistically, is that he's right, because he's Jason Schreier. He almost always is right. And, if I'm betting money on it, if I'm in Vegas, I'm betting Rocksteady is making a, quote, group superhero video game, whatever that means. I don't know. Is it going to be like that Avengers game where you pick 4 different, Avengers characters or Marvel characters more broadly, and it's like an MMO type thing? I don't know. Who knows? And it could be really cool. It could totally, bend the industry, bend our expectations of the industry. I mean, who knows, right? But that's the direction I think they're going. And to bet against Jason Schreier, that's a ballsy move. It just really is. Historically, he's been very, very reliable, and that's something that you have to consider. So I really want to hear your thoughts about this. When I first heard this, I was like, games as a service? Really? They're going to do an MMO? They're going to do a pay-to-play MMO? I mean, it just doesn't sound like them. But who knows? I mean, really, who knows? It's 2018. We know they've had so many failed attempts at making video games. We know this. WB Games Montreal, not so much Rocksteady. They might be having corporate pressure because WB Montreal, they've dumped millions of dollars into them. It's been 5 years. They haven't made a game. Every game they've tried has been a colossal flop. They've had to reboot it or retry or change things. And then WB Games Montreal's game developer is talking about, he's so excited earlier this year that things are finally coming together. It's like, yeah, after 5 years. I mean, so, there could be pressure there that they want the biggest moneymaker to come out. But I don't want to assume that, because Rocksteady has a recognizable brand, and Rocksteady has always been that gem amidst all of the nonsense in the video game industry of the money-hungry greed, right? Rocksteady's always been a quality over quantity kind of company. They've never released anything before it's ready, and even to the dismay of all the fans delaying Arkham Knight for 9 months, they still did it, right? So, at one point, you're dumb to bet against Jason Schreier. You are dumb to say, I think that Jason Schreier's an idiot, he's probably wrong, but you're also kind of, it's not really intelligent to bet against Rocksteady, because really their track record is quite impressive, okay? So, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to know everything that you are feeling about DC's video game announcements potentially at the Video Game Awards, and I want to hear what you guys are thinking about WB Games Montreal, and also this news about the Rocksteady supposed group DC hero game. Okay, anyway guys, hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. My name is Slickmoth, and I'll see you guys in the next one.